Good evening. My apologies. I didn't mean to frighten you, my dear. What brings you out here? After all, it's the middle of the night. A lover's quarrel? Or perhaps you are running away? No? Intriguing. Very well then. Enlighten me. And don't worry, I won't tell a soul. I see. You come here often then, I assume. Ah, I thought so. Don't be embarrassed, my dear. I assure you I understand. I mean, look at the harbour this evening. It's calm, still. Not a soul in sight. Well, except for you, of course. Would you like to sit with me? I know many of us don't care to talk to a stranger, but maybe we can both have a change of heart. Just for tonight. Lovely. Yes, the moon does look nice, doesn't it? She's certainly a sight to behold. Although, I'm afraid I'm not able to appreciate her as much as I was once able to. After all, an eternal marriage is bound to grow stale. Or rather, bittersweet, I would say. I still love her and the night, but it's complicated. Don't worry, I don't expect you to understand. Please, ignore my rambling, and let's indulge in a conversation which will be more fruitful for both of us, shall we? Tell me, is there anything in particular you like to speak about? Remember, my dear, when one speaks to a stranger, they throw their words away to the passing wind. I have no use for your story, nor do I possess any ill motive. Your word is forever safe with me. The most important of questions. Who are you? But also the most complicated of questions. You see, I used to be an abundance of things. I was once a child, a teenager, a man. I was also a fisherman. In fact, do you see that boat over there? Yes, the one on the left. That boat over there once belongs to me. Although I don't have the slightest idea who owns it now. Yes, strange, isn't it? How could an important piece of information, such as the ownership of my vessel, slip my mind? I guess one could say it was taken from me. I love my boat, along with her missing floorboards and tattered sails. And I serve her well by taking her out to the sea each day, no matter the weather. She never gathered dust under my care. But one day, a storm passed over and she slipped right through my finger. Everything does. Everything did. My boat, my family, my friends, my entire life. I felt my blood freeze in my vein as I watched the rain wash away everything I once held near and dear to my heart. It was all his fault. I don't know. I can't remember his face. All I do remember, though, is the sting he left behind as he stole everything from me. He stole my summer, my sleep, my patience, my joy, my time, and my death, all in one night. Tell me, can you imagine what it's like to indulge in the comfort of winter but not the fruits of summer? To feel glad knowing your loved one can sleep away the night but not yourself. No longer can I bask in the sun, and instead I am bound to the lady night. A lady who is as still as the time I walk through. You can't imagine it, can you? I would prefer it if we keep it that way. No, my dear. I don't have the slightest clue where that man is. The police, well, they won't be able to catch him either. He's long gone now, I'm afraid. I appreciate your concern, though. It's nice to see that some people still have a heart. You want to ask me something? By all means, don't be shy. My teeth. Ah, yes. They do look sharp, don't they? You haven't seen teeth like this before, have you? I thought so. Would you like to take a closer look? It's the least I can do to sate your curiosity. Why, yes, they're quite predatory, like a tiger. I hope it's not too frightening for you. After all, I'm here to make a friend, not scare them away. You aren't scared. That's good to hear. It's best if you hold on to that courage. I hear rumors of these so-called creatures of the night stalking this very town. You could run into one and be none the wiser. Have you read Bram Stoker's latest work? Dracula, he calls it. I believe his novel has played a great part in these rumors as well. You see, the people here has used history to fuel their imaginations. Some say these nocturnal creatures prey on the living, or rather the blood of the living. They tiptoe through the moonlit streets and hide within the shadows, waiting for some poor souls to stroll by. And when the time is right, they drag them away into the endless night. Their victims will fight back and their pulse will quicken, but that just makes them all the more appetizing. But finally, their poor heart will continue to race inside their chests until it stops. Their soul finally devoured with no scrap to be spared. Their mortality drained like a sweet, sweet wine. But these are only rumors, of course. Words I've heard in passing. But many people have disappeared this past month. But who's to say it's a fault of the supernatural? There's been a handful of murders as well, but once again, can one really blame this on being from another plane? Spirits? Monsters? You say people has awarded this creature with a name. Please, enlighten me. A vampire? Well, looks as though the author really has left an impression on the kind people here. But I can assure you at this very moment that these creatures are no mere vampires. They lack the class and chivalry of a vampire. There is no wealth either, no grand castles or masquerade, no forbidden pleasures or romance. Nothing of the sort, my dear. These vampires the people speak of looks just like you and me. They can hold conversation, even carry them, and maintain their sharp wit and charisma. And despite all of that, they are as empty as this very harbour. Hollow shells of people who were once smiled in the face of mortality, but now frown into the face of death herself, forever bound to the night. Till death do us apart, they say. What a cruel joke. Some lose themselves in their eternal solitude. They go mad, almost primitive. Those are the one who prowls the street like a hungry animal, and who can't seem to figure out which way their moral compasses are pointing. And the arrow just seems to be spinning and spinning and spinning. Though there are some who tries to maintain their humanity. They pretend to sleep, they walk under the sunlight in their cloaks, they write, they read, they invest, they travel, they buy property. Some even continue to pray. It works, for the most part. They maintain their footing in the mortal world, and despite the obvious disadvantages, but the damage is still done. The die has been cast, and it's only in a matter of time before they give in to their hunger. The hunger that makes them ill, both in soul and body, and causes a great deal of pain. If their hunger is not sated, then it continues for all of eternity. At that point, it became a matter of time before they go mad and rip anything apart with a heartbeat. These are the creatures you are up against, stalking through the night and lurking through the day, blending in with the innocent, or should I say prey, like wolf in sheep clothing. You look nervous, my dear. Are you feeling well? You figured it out, haven't you, my dear? My sharp teeth, my pale complexion, that strange emptiness in my eyes. You know exactly what I am. I don't think I haven't noticed your hand moving towards that bulge beneath your coat. Let me guess. A stake? Perhaps a crucifix? Or maybe a bag of garlic? I admire your effort, but I'm afraid it's all for naught. You see, it's never my intention to harm you. All I did was give a stranger a warning. That is the only sin I've committed tonight. I do not want you to face the same curse as I have. And yes, I may be hungry, and I'll be lying if I said my mouth didn't water when I first smelled your scent down the way. But like I've already said, I'm here to make a friend, not an enemy. This town has faced enough torment. Many good people have died. So why don't we attempt to change things and tread across that fine line which divides the living and the undead, just like the two of us have done this evening. I see you're still nervous. It's okay. I understand. It must be frightening, yet at the same time confusing to be sharing a conversation with a blood-sucking creature of the night. It's the same as a person holding a knife above your chest, yet they'll never strike you down. It's unpredictable, but that's what makes it scary, isn't it? If it calms your nerve, then I shall leave. Like I said before, I don't expect you to understand my woes, but you have already done me the honor of simply listening. For that, my dear, I am eternally grateful. I feel as though Shirley put it into words quite nicely, though. Then thou was lovely, mild, and gentle. Now thou art terrible, in jealousy and unlovingly in my sight, because thou hasn't cruelly cut off my love in fury, till I have no love left for thee. Poetic, isn't it, the way the heart can rot, when the night cuts off your love for the day? One will eventually lose their love for the night. My apologies. I shall bore you no longer. I shall take my leave. Remember, my dear, if you're ever in need, you can always place your full faith in your stranger by the harbour. A mist will be rolling over the town shortly, so may I suggest you make your way back home where it's safe. But for now, I shall bid you adieu. Take good care of yourself. I'm not the only one present this evening, and the others are not so friendly. So it would be best, my dear, if you avoid straying away from the path. That's good to hear. Farewell, my dear, till we meet again.